You know, a lot of times when we meet a person, we can sense right away that there's something wrong about them. And I tell people who get into toxic relationships, you know, can you go back to that moment when you first met them? And can you remember a moment where you got initially a little bit uncomfortable in their presence?
Or conflated discomfort with butterflies, passion.
Yeah, but you didn't trust the feelings. That's what I'm getting at, right? So a lot of people have the right instincts because we are animals and we can kind of feel that a person is fake or that a person is hiding something. You know, like children are very good at that. They can sense that someone is fake or they're hiding something. Yeah, full of shit. And we have it too to some degree, but we don't trust our instincts.
Lure others into your fantasy world. From very early on, Josephine Baker could not stand the feeling of having no control over the world. Her solution was something children often do. Confronted with hopeless environment, she closed herself off in a world of her own making. Oblivious to the ugliness around her, this world was filled with dancing, clowning, dreams of great things. Let other people wail and mourn, Josephine would smile. Remain confident and self-reliant. Almost everyone who met her, from her earliest years to her last, commented on how seductive this quality was. Her refusal to compromise or to be what she was expected to be made everything she did seem authentic and natural. A child loves to play and to create a little self-contained world. When children are absorbed in make-believe, they are hopelessly charming. They infuse their imaginings with such seriousness and feeling. Adult naturals do something similar, particularly if they are artists. They create their own fantasy world and live in it as if it were a real one. Fantasy is so much more pleasant than reality. And since most people do not have the power to create such in the world like this, they enjoy being around those who do. The daily law is learn to play with your image, never take it too seriously. The key is to infuse your play with the conviction and feeling of a child. Make it seem natural. The more absorbed you seem in your own joy-filled world, the more seductive you become. Be a source of pleasure. No one wants to hear about your problems and troubles. Listen to your target's complaints, but more important, distract them from their problems by giving them pleasure. Do this often enough and they will fall under your spell. An energetic presence is more charming than lethargy, which hints at boredom. An enormous social taboo, and elegance and style will usually win out every other vulgarity. Since most people like to associate themselves with whatever they think elevated and cultured, the daily law is be light-hearted and funny, more seductive than being serious and critical. Lure others into your fantasy world. That's another one.
The main thing that you want to develop in life is the ability to detect them before you get involved with them. Because the way toxic people have learned, they've learned strategies since they were 6 or 7 years old, how to get power. And they embroil you in dramas. They get into your emotions, right? They entangle themselves in your life. They don't come at you saying, I'm toxic, I'm a narcissist, get away from me. They know how to appear charming, they know how to be interested in you, they know how to be moderately pleasing, etc. They can even be charismatic. You get involved with them and then it starts to come out and it's too late because you're emotionally entangled with them. They've got their roots inside of you and you're sucked into their dramas, and it's really hard to get out, particularly in an intimate relationship. That's the worst of all. The best thing you want to develop in life is the radar to detect them before you get involved. If you come across as someone who has kind of learned things from a book or who has a kind of a formula for seducing, it seems very cold, it seems very calculating. And we humans pick these things up in the realm of seduction and in love, where a lot of it is nonverbal communication. And the sense that the other person is kind of being cold and logical and is kind of following certain ways to get to their goal, which is to sleep with us or whatever. is very off-putting, is very unseductive. And so the key to seduction is to completely disguise the fact that you're seducing. The person that you're involved with has no clue that you're doing anything. It seems so natural, so easy, so comfortable. And the idea is you have that quality in you. It's naturally in you. I talked earlier about different forms of intelligence. You also have a certain form of seduction that's natural to you. And in the Art of Seduction, I talk about these 9 types of seducers. There's the wraith, the siren, the dandy, the charmer, the natural, etc. I go into detail about them and I discuss them in the Daily Laws. You have one of these qualities. It's impossible. There's not a person on the planet who lacks at least one of them, right? It's in you. And probably you're not too aware of it, or you're afraid of it, or you're not putting it into action. You're not maximizing its power. And so the idea is you're going to learn what quality is that you have. You know, if you're a natural, that means that there's a childlike quality in you. If you're a dandy, that means there's a slightly androgynous aspect to you. If you're a charmer, that means that you're a pleaser. You understand people and you're able to charm them by getting inside their spirit. You know, if you're a charismatic, you have this incredible energy and confidence that draws people in. Whatever it is, you have one of those qualities, I guarantee you. The trick is to make it clearer to you, to make it more conscious, so you can kind of use this quality and bring it out more. Bring out more of your natural powers that are within you, right? It's like an actor who brings their personality to the role, and the director is trying to just kind of turn the volume up a little bit so it has a little more effect, a little more power, a little more influence on the audience. So you have that quality. It's in you. You just have to be more conscious of it, and you have to know what is about it that makes it seductive, right? So one of the types is a coquette. And a coquette is a person that has a little bit of inner coldness, that knows how to blow hot and cold. They know how to be very exciting one moment and then to withdraw another moment. And it's extremely powerful, seductive quality. Well, first of all, to become acquainted with yourself and to know who you are and know the source of your own desires. So if it's your very first relationship, it's a little hard to see patterns, but you can begin to see patterns of the kind of person that you're attracted to after the 3rd or 4th time, and to analyze that and to be aware of it. Now, some people will say, well, won't that kind of ruin the whole relationship game that I'm analyzing myself that seems so unseductive, etc. And if you're in your 20s and you're healthy and you're young, maybe it doesn't matter so much.
Right.
You're going to have some painful moments, but you're having a lot of fun. Okay, I'm not going to rain on that parade. But eventually, you're not going to be so young. You're going to be in your late 20s. You're going to be in your early 30s. And the series of bad relationships are going to start wearing on you. You're going to start creating trauma. And they'll start infecting you with this kind of defensiveness, where every time you meet someone, you're worried that they're going to hurt you, and you can't open yourself up to them, right? So you've got to, as early as possible, understand your own patterns. Why am I attracted to this person? Just simply ask that question, right? It's, what was it about him or her that attracted me to that person? Is there something I'm not thinking about? But don't look at it as if it's always the other person. See your own temptation, why you give into someone like that, why you are attracted to people like that, right? Go through that process and then say, all right, what are the qualities that I really, really want? What is important for me that I'm not getting from this person? The sex is great, but there are other things that are more important, like validation, like the other person cares about my work and about my career. They're not just interested in me as a physical presence, but they actually show interest in my future, right?
Yes.
What are these things that I need that are very important to me that I didn't get in that last relationship, right?
Yes.
Who am I, right? That's just the question. Who am I? What are my deepest needs? And what are my dark patterns, right?
Yes.
And then to go through a process of, if I now become all defensive and closed, and if I'm like always judging the person, you know, oh, he's not right for me, or she's not, you know, because you're afraid of being hurt again.
That last person has power over you still.
Yeah, they defeated you. They conquered your spirit.